right now we're in a moment of chaos, and it doesn't seem like there's gonna be anything good that's gonna come from this. Maybe I'm just a bit too pessimistic, but we've seen this play out. Maybe not on the scale of how it's playing out right now, but we've seen it played out before. And it makes things that much more frustrating because it seems like even though some people are hearing and they're seeing what's going on, it's just not connecting. They're just not realizing the frustration that people are dealing with. There are two things that we know from the George Floyd case. We saw, if you've seen the video, a lot of people are choosing not to look at the whole video. I couldn't watch the entire video, but I watched a good portion. I've seen different parts. But regardless of if you watch the entire video or if you've seen parts of it, we all know that George Floyd was murdered. We saw it happen. It all played out. And we know who did it. So where do we want to stand? We know what's right and what's wrong. If we're choosing to only focus on what we want to focus on right now, what's going to happen? I can see it in a few months. We're going to move on and no change is going to happen. Or maybe something else happens. Maybe this is a catalyst for something. I keep seeing people saying that the protesters, they're acting violent. They're breaking into buildings. They're doing this, they're doing that. Those aren't the protesters. For the most part, at least. Those aren't the protesters. Half of those are from people who show up just to loot. Half the protesters from the city, they're pissed off. They're trying to stop them because they're like, yo, we live here. This is our stuff. You're messing up our stuff. We want to be able to use this stuff when we're done. So when you're going into communities and you're mashing down, just breaking down the only supermarket in there, just because you wanted to take out a few things, or you just want to fuck shit up because you've been cooped up in your house for 3 months now because of COVID-19, and now you feel like this is your release, this is your purge. You're going out there just to go mess things up, and you are completely ignoring the message, the point of the whole protest in the first place. And then the actual protesters are the ones who are gonna feel the pain. They're the one who are gonna feel the hurt. In fact, they're the one getting shot with the rubber bullets. They're the ones who are standing there just chanting and getting shot. Why? Because we've riled up the cops. And we already know what happened when you riled up cops. They don't care. They're still out there. The fact that you're seeing some police officers just exemplifying the same thing, the same kind of behaviors. We're still seeing videos. Like in Seattle, there was a video of a cop apprehending a protester, rider. I don't know what that guy was doing. It's apprehending the guy, and he has his knee in his neck. So what is that telling us? It's telling us that they don't care, that they're not gonna change. They're not trying to change. So what should we do to enforce some sort of change, to make sure that a change happens? Because we need them to be afraid of not just the criminals that they're chasing, but also the law. How are we going to hold these criminals with a badge accountable for their actions? That's what we should be focusing on also. I'm not saying you have to focus on one thing at a time. No. Keep protesting. I'm all for protesting. I'm just saying we should not lose sight of what's going on in the background. Because right now, we're seeing the autopsy of George Floyd, and it's very similar to Eric Garner. And why is that? It's quite similar to Eric Garner because the state is trying to cover their ass. See, George Floyd's autopsy is coming back to say, oh, he had underlying issues that would paired with a whole bunch of other things, all kind of crap that's not relevant to what we saw in that video. They're saying, oh, when you combine all of those things, it was just something there that was gonna happen eventually. So, it's not the cop's fault. It's not the state's fault. It's not the city's fault. It's not the police faults. So when we're seeing all of this happening and it's coming together for one reason. For the lawsuit. For the criminal case. Because in the criminal case, they're going to present the autopsy in defense. The defense is going to present the autopsy. And they're going to say, well, you see here that even if Officer Chauvin, or whatever the fuck his name is, had his knee on his back instead of his neck, he would have still died. It's not from a lack of oxygen. No, it's from just years of just life. That's what killed him. No, it wasn't because he was murdered. It wasn't because 3 other officers stood there and watched this man get murdered. No, that didn't play a part at all. It wasn't because the emergency service showed up and didn't do anything other than transfer a limp, lifeless body onto a gurney. There is no recovery there is nothing. It's a whole system that just puts everything together. You have them come, they check his pulse, and then nothing. Like, if you are going to I've seen emergency service show up to places, and it's immediate. They start to work to revive him right there. That would be what happened, right? Wouldn't they try to revive this man when it happened? The moment it happened? Wouldn't they try to start revive him right there? So that they can put him in the transport vehicle and take him to the hospital? That wasn't done. They pulled his limp body onto a gurney and put him in the ambulance. And people keep saying, well, yeah, what if you fuck up at work? Yeah, but how many people does it take to fuck up one job? If you keep fucking up for 9 minutes and then other people watch you fuck up, does that not count for something? Is that not an issue? Does that not show that there is an issue in that situation? So, when you look at the case, when you look at the whole situation, you know what they're doing. You know that they're preparing for their lawsuit. If the medical examiner is working for the city and they know their ass would be on the line too if they were gonna put out, oh yeah, the city is at fault, Because not only will there be a criminal case, they know there will be a civil case, and they want to present in the court that this man didn't die because of negligence from the city, or the city didn't play a part in him dying. So they don't want a wrongful death suit. They don't want to be sued for killing this man. They don't want to have to pay out millions. So if you're a medical examiner and you get tipped off by whoever that, hey, make sure this come back where it looks like this man died of other causes instead of what millions of people saw happen. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go against. You're gonna go with what you see, or you're gonna know that, hey, sucks to suck. I'm putting what's gonna benefit me and my people, my side, the side that I'm rooting for, in a better light, right? So all of the protesting is still happening, but on the side of what the outcome is gonna be, it looks freaking bleak to me. So you might be home and you're saying you want to help, you want to do something that's gonna actually benefit people. You want to change, but you don't know what to do. You also don't want to say the wrong thing on social media. You don't want to end up getting attacked for your opinion, or you don't want to piss people off. Well, let me tell you, you're gonna piss a lot of people off regardless of which side you're on. You're gonna piss people off. So what you need to do is weigh right and wrong. And if you watch that video and if you feel like what happened in that video was okay, then one, fuck you. Two, fuck you. But if you watch that video and you see a blatant problem, you see someone murdering a person, then go ahead. Vote for who you think will be better for your community. You can find out who's running in your area. You can find out about their background. You can find out about the DA. You can find out if they have a history of being hard or soft on law enforcement when they commit a crime of police brutality. You can find out all of that. Just make an effort. Like, if you're willing to stay silent on social media because of fear of pissing people off or fear of saying the wrong thing, make an effort in other ways. You can donate to the different orgs that are bailing people out and finding proper representation for them. You can call your representatives and ask them what are they going to do going forward to make a change in the way police act towards people and prevent police brutality. And I may be, like I said, I may be pessimistic about what's gonna happen, but the focus is starting to shift. The conversation is starting to shift. And what we're really fighting for, what people are fighting for, is changing. So when we see all of that, and it's hard for me to say, yeah, something good is gonna happen. There's a feeling that a lot of people have that something bad is actually gonna happen. This thing is it's just really tiring and exhausting for a lot of people. I don't know what to do. And a lot of us don't know what to do. But we know right and we know wrong. And if you see wrong going on and you're choosing not to do something to change it, or not to say something about it, not to acknowledge it, all people are asking for is, yo, acknowledge that there is something wrong. If you are choosing not to acknowledge that there is something wrong, if at this point you're choosing not to see that there is a problem, then I don't know what to say to you, man.